Oh wait, Reynor might want to join the stream to talk about StarCraft 2. And like Korea versus West history. Hold on. But so I was talking to APA last night for a little bit, and I think he thinks that they can actually beat them.
I mean, they maybe could. You never know.
What did Hansama
do?
Do
you know how to hack yet, or what's like? If you can sneak a USB on stage, maybe they can win.
In the world right now, it's looking like they're the best. It's looking like no one can touch them. It's looking like no one gets close. And
oh
you
my
think
lord!
Vanguard's implemented on
okay, wait. Raynor's gonna join. Raynor's gonna join. All right, so Twitch chat, we're gonna have one of the best StarCraft 2 players in the world join. He's one of the best like last remaining StarCraft 2 pros. And he's a Western player that at times has competed with like the elite Koreans. He's also switching to League now. Or well, not entirely switching to League, but he's starting to dabble.
Don't.
Don't?
Don't. That's all I have to say. Just don't.
Oh my lord.
Can we add Raynor to the call?
Hey.
No, we're not. Yeah, hello, Reynor. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing good. What's up, guys?
Lovely,
hello.
Lovely. Okay.
So I'm gonna introduce myself to you, Reynor. So LS is like, he can attest to this. I'm one of the best mid laners in the entire world. I just got a little bit unlucky. It is what it is. Basically, like in an alternate timeline, people would view me as Faker. You know who Faker is?
I see. Yeah.
Like if you really want to, you can search up on your YouTube search bar, Cat Evolved Faker, and you'll get like all the videos you need. You know?
Okay, I'll look it up. I'll look it up before bed tonight.
Yeah.
So you just got unlucky.
Yeah.
I see.
What the fuck? Oh my god. Okay, Reynor, so what I wanted to chat about with you is StarCraft 2's developmental history between the West versus Korea.
Yeah. So it's pretty simple.
So there was a point where obviously Korea fell apart, right? Korea lost its pro teams. The Korean ladder got a lot weaker. The league started to like sort of fall apart, right? GSL Code S condensed. And I think during that moment is when people like you, Serral, Neeb, Clem, like you can name other people that maybe I'm not like familiar with, right? But like you guys started actually competing with the top Koreans.
Yeah. So the guy that started it all was actually Neeb. Neeb was
one
of the
Neeb.
first.
Neeb. Yep.
He
And
won,
he's from America, right?
Yeah, he's American.
Okay.
He won the Kespa Cup, I think it was 2016, which was something that we've never seen before. It was a Korean tournament.
Right. Yep.
And he just won. He destroyed everyone pretty much. And then in 2018 came the Serral era, where he just won everything for a very long time. And that's kind of when the balance was destroyed between like Koreans dominating and Europe not being able to do anything, or like foreigners not being able to do anything. And now it's I would say more foreigner heavy on the like actual wins of tournaments, just because of mostly Serral, to be honest. He's carrying pretty hard. Like on average, I would say Koreans are still a little bit better.
Yes, they're still a little bit better, right? But you guys, well, would you say okay? So in your opinion, is Serral actually the best in the world when he's active? Okay, so that's a Western player that's the best player in the world.
Yeah. It's actually not even quite close, in my opinion. Like the guy's actually insane at the game.
Okay, so what? All right, so obviously, like you're sort of familiar with League of Legends, right? Because you've talked to me in the past about swapping, and other stuff. And I don't know if that's still something that you're gonna do. I know that you play League right now. You're in Korea actually right now, and a lot of people. So for my viewers that don't know StarCraft 2 history, in StarCraft 1, it was not close at all. Still to this day, it's not close. Foreigners can't compete with top Koreans. In StarCraft 2, in the beginning, I would say actually foreigners probably actually had the edge in the beginning, right? Idra, Huck, Naniwa, Thorzane, who else? Kiwikaki, Stefano, right? Stefano versus Protoss was like its own matchup. So Wings of Liberty was like interesting. There was obviously MVP, but I think a lot of the foreign players were actually just a lot better than Korean players in the beginning. And then Koreans, once the meta was established and the build orders were established, the Korean engine like takes over, right? Where they have the ladder, they have the team houses, they practice all the time, right? And then foreigners can't compete. But there were still some foreigners that could compete. Stefano Scarlet, Naniwa, Todd, like in the very early ages. Then, so my history and my knowledge of StarCraft 2 gets a little bit fuzzy after I quit. End of Wings of Liberty. I keep up with it a little bit. So that's where I'd start to ask you questions, because then StarCraft 2 falls apart in Korea, where the team houses all break down. And that's where the Koreans start showing vulnerability, because they lose their advantages, which is their team houses and their intense practice.
Exactly, yeah. That's pretty much where Europe just started to rise a little bit when the team houses fell apart, and the teams. Like even when the team houses fell apart, there were still like teams, and players would just practice against each other all day, and so they still had an edge. But when the big teams like GNR, SKT1, they fell apart, that's kind of when Europe came back.
Okay. And I mean, you can tell me if I'm inaccurate here. So I've talked about obviously the history of esports a really long time. I've been around in esports for 20 years, right? I started StarCraft 1 20 years ago, when IC Cup existed, which is whatever. And I had an invite to a Kespa team for StarCraft 1, and then obviously switched to StarCraft 2, Hearthstone, right? So I've been around for lots of esports, even if you don't know my history, because this is, I think, our first time on Voice together, even though we've chatted. So I've been around a really, really long time. And one of the things that I've always talked about is witnessing what happened in so many different esports, and the patterns that happened, because I've also read a lot on history and stuff. So would you say that when the team houses and everything else fell apart, do you think that the Korean and Chinese players are slower to adapt to meta changes and build changes and stuff compared to Europe and NA?
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. Korea kept their own way for a very long time. Even now, there's a solid difference between Koreans and foreigners in how they play. Especially when Serral came in, the meta kind of switched for every single race, because it kind of became a defensive meta, and Koreans are just very aggressive, honestly. Their constant aggression is the thing they have going.
Okay. And Serral's actually very defensive.
Yeah. He's always been a defense god, the unbreakable guy.
Yeah, so, I'm getting a little triggered right now. So obviously, I talk about this because we learned this from AI too, right? If you've ever watched the studies or the documentaries on stuff from AI, AI gravitates towards defensive play, right? And always just trying to be defensive. And obviously, in StarCraft 1, if you followed StarCraft 1, defensive play was superior. Even if your defensive play was actually offensive, it was a form of defense, and as a distraction or something like that, which was defensive in nature. So it's funny to hear that the best player in StarCraft 2, now Serral, is naturally a defensive player. So okay, what would you all right, so we talked about the team houses falling apart. We talked about, Korea losing its ladder prestige and stuff like that. What do you think is the main difference between Europe and NA versus Korea in StarCraft's current form?
You mean as in meta, the way they play, or
even go about practice and stuff? Yeah, how to what would you do? What would you and European player, because you're on a team with Serral, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What would you guys do different in practice? Because I just assume the Koreans just grind the same builds every day, and that's all that they do.
What I've noticed is that Koreans actually just play more ladder overall than customs. I think Europe practice is more custom heavy. NA is kind of a clown region, honestly. So we don't really we don't really know much about their practice, but it ain't good. And, so I noticed that Koreans are a little bit more ladder heavy.
Okay. So you're telling me that in StarCraft 2, EU is better than NA?
Oh yeah, by far. NA is a bit of a joke in StarCraft.
So it's funny, in StarCraft 1, at the very end of StarCraft 1, Europe had, I'm not sure how familiar you are with StarCraft 1, but Europe had they were called clans back then, and Europe had Templars of Twilight, which was basically all of the best non-Korean players. And there was one Chinese player, his name was Zhao Ji, And he was from Canada, but he didn't really speak much English, but he was on Templars of Twilight. But the actual best player at the end of StarCraft 1 that was a foreigner was Yosh, who was American. But Yosh liked to separate himself from the Americans. He was a part of Templars of Twilight. And yeah, so that was yeah. Oh man, Russia was actually really good in StarCraft 1. Android and Advocate. You know, there were some Russian players. I think the best foreigner right now in StarCraft 1 is actually Russian, right? DeWalt.
I don't keep up with.
Oh, you don't follow? Okay.
Yeah,
all right, maybe that's a chat with Scarlet, because does Scarlet still play StarCraft 1?
I think she does sometimes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So maybe that's something I can chat with Scarlet with, because I think DeWalt is actually here competing in Korea's StarCraft 1 tournament right now. Like I think he's really trying to like make a push. So that's interesting. Okay. So TLDR, obviously, I just wanted to sort of like talk about like the history and stuff like that. Where do you see StarCraft 2 going? Like best 10 versus best 10. Do you think Europe is better than Korea, or is it actually just Serral is like carrying Europe?
What's the format? Is it like all kill or like 1v1? And you just take number one against number
yeah,
one?
all kill. Can Serral actually just 10-0 Korea?
I think all kill Europe would win.
Okay. What about if it's like 1v1v1v1, and then if there's a tie, you use an ace?
I think top 5 we would do very well. From top 5 to top 10 we would struggle, for sure.
Interesting. Okay. When did it switch to where Europe could start beating Korea in like a top 5? Like how many years ago?
I think like recently, honestly, because
okay.
Serral was first, then I came up and I won the world championship and I got second.
Oh, you won worlds?
Yeah, I won.
Oh, I didn't know. Congratulations.
Oh,
what the fuck? Okay.
Okay. And then I came, and then I was second, and then Clem third, and now
Clem is the
also,
French Terran, right?
Yeah, he's also very good now.
Okay.
And then now we have a new guy which is called Max Bax. He's probably the best Protoss player in the world right now, but he doesn't actually play offline events. Yeah, he only plays online, but he's quite insane. So I think top 5 we would do very well.
Okay. All right. That's really interesting to hear. And could I, if you don't mind, so again, you said that you guys focus on customs and stuff, whereas Korea just grinds ladder and whatnot, and sort of does that like, you know, that machine-like approach. What do you do anything special in your customs? You know what I mean? Do you guys have like fixed builds that you?
Oh yeah.
You know? Oh, okay. So you do dedicated practices.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We don't do that in League. We don't.
Really?
Oh, go ahead.
That's really weird though, because I was thinking about it and like. We play against builds all the time. Like we say, okay, this build hasn't come up in a while, so let's play a bunch against it so we remember exactly how to defense against it. Or there's a very popular build, you're not quite sure if you're doing it well, you play against it 10 times in a row. Or you have one build of your own that you really want to master and you just fucking...
No, we don't do that.
Against the AI. Like we even play against the AI, you know, to get the build down until...
Oh, you play against DeepMind? Or what?
Yeah, no, just the AI in StarCraft. You know,
you play against the computer.
Practice. Yeah, you just.
Oh, so you go into the equivalency of practice tool.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we don't do that in League. We don't. That's boring.
Really weird, though. That's really weird.
I know it's really. No, trust me. Listen, as a fucking grown-up RTS player, the amount of stuff that makes me want to blow my brains out in a game. Like there's a lot of problems in the League scene. There's so many problems, and when I try to talk about it, I get met with a lot of resistance because it's not normal to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to an RTS player, it's obvious to us.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know, superior genre and all. Anyways, but like it is really mind blowing. Like you're talking about, you'll go in, you'll do dedicated builds and stuff like that. In League, like 10-minute scrims, 15-minute like scrims where you run the same comp over and over and over until you really get down the identity. We don't do that. That's forbidden. That's forbidden.
Insane,
we can't. I know it is. That's forbidden. We can't do that. When you try to do that, some players might complain. And
doesn't the coach just decide and tell them to like fuck off? You know, like
no. That's not how League runs.
Really? That's
no. League has systems. You wouldn't get it.
I wouldn't get it.
Things that can be demonstrated. No. Well, here's the problem. Things that can be demonstrated, the people that have to decide on the demonstration don't have discernibility. Okay, so imagine a gold player trying to tell the difference between you and like Serral's build or you and Maru's build. The gold player can't tell what's going on. You know what I mean? Yeah. So then if you and Serral both stand on a stage and try to tell the gold player what's happening, the gold player still can't tell who's right or wrong or who's lying. Do you know what I mean? You could both even be lying as an experiment. The gold player would still side with one person.
Yeah.
And that's a really big problem within League because we don't allow demonstration to exist. And people that want to actively push for demonstration, it's seen as hostile or like aggressive. I don't know. It's very weird. Yeah, it's really strange. There's a lot of people. I don't know. I'm unfamiliar with, like, how many League people do you know of? Like, I'm sure you know of, like, Vigar V2, maybe?
Yeah, I know a bunch. I know Bwipo. I talk to Bwipo sometimes. I know Mephisto.
Okay.
I know Savior. He's a challenger support. He's been getting into coaching as well. I know a bunch of people, actually.
Okay. Yeah, so things like this, there's going to be issues. But the reason that I wanted to get you on stream is because G2, to my knowledge, now I'm not sure about like the intentional scrims, but they do a lot of things that are very akin to old StarCraft in a lot of ways. And so I thought that was like really interesting because they are so consistently the best Western team.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mostly just wanted to chat about that with you. But we could have like a proper dedicated chat to this. Like, you're in Korea, right? Yeah. Oh, I wanted to talk to you yesterday, off like after everything, but I mean, we can just chat later if you want.
Yeah, we can do that later.
Okay. Yeah. And then, yeah, I mean, we could do like a talk in person or something like that if you're down for it.
For sure.
Okay, cool. Okay, but yeah, no, I mean, I think that's all for now outside of like a dedicated talk. And then, yeah, I mean, I'll message you later. And then I know you want to do League stuff, right? I mean, we can do League stuff.
I've been playing a couple of days now.
Okay. Yeah, we can definitely do League stuff. Are you still considering swapping?
Yeah, it's on my mind. It's just there's a massive tournament coming up, and
so you gotta wait for that.
Yeah, I gotta wait.
Okay,
for sure.
Wait, is it the World Cup? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you representing Basilisk in that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay. Cool. All right. Yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much, honestly, for coming on stream and stuff. No, that's really good. No, let's definitely have more like talks like this, and I'll reach out and like we can plan a talk in the near future about like StarCraft and League. Okay, cool. Okay. All right, cool. All right, man. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yep. Talk to you later. Bye. See you. That was good. That was a really good chat. I'll definitely upload it. Again, that's one of the best StarCraft 2 players in the world right now. And he's teammates actually with the best StarCraft 2 player in the world, which is Serral. That was really nice. He does want to swap to League. And to my knowledge, I could be wrong on this. He did start playing League not like super long ago, but I believe he actually climbed really fast. So it would be interesting. He's obviously still super young, so I do think that it is possible, and I've actually pushed him to swap a few times. I also did push Special to swap, but Special didn't want to swap because he had to go back to NA. But yeah, I mean, Reynor is still 21 years old, so I do think that he can swap. So I think there's a lot of possibility there. So we'll definitely do some coaching stuff with Reynor. What role are you again, by the way? Wait, I'm actually curious what Reynor is. So he plays Zerg in StarCraft. I wonder what... Oh, wait, I got him. I got his ID. All right, hold on. I got his ID. He is a ADC main. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, shit. He's an ADC main. His main champions are Zeri, Kaisa, and Varus. Interesting. Oh, he built Collector. It's over. It's fine. I think that some of the talks that me and him are going to be able to have are going to be really interesting about RTS and everything else like that. Anyways, guys, that is pretty much it. I will see you guys all tomorrow for T1 versus TL. And